a hushed reverence.
So that's a little sound from the beginning of Companions and stuff. Simple. And then we can go up. This is another sound from Companions. Very simple, but then there you go. Now we can get into the spring. This is my desire to have some sharp sound and some thuddy sound. And then back in Idiot Flesh, it's a little more of an industrial thing. You could put a big bunch of gate and compression on this. So it's kind of an all-purpose
thing.
All-purpose noise range. And there is actually I'm not using these strings on anything right now, but there's an Idiot Flesh song coming out that features these strings. Anyway, they're not tuned right now, but there's a new Idiot Flesh album coming out.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
with June and everybody?
What's that?
With June and everybody, or what's it? I don't know.
All the original.
No shit.
I mean, it was recorded almost entirely in the 90s.
Okay, so it's
been sitting, kind of waiting for me to get my shit together.
I've heard Monkey and Let the Dog Sing.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another one which has actually. No, I guess that's. Well, there's one more that's basically finished, Twinge, right? And then there's two songs that have never been heard called Trampolines, which is Gene John's metal song.
Okay.
And
something
Devolver.
Oh, okay.
But you're right. Devolver is this 10-minute epic of Nils's. I don't know how to describe it, but it's about choosing to evolve back into the ocean.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I'm familiar. And then the Armadillo Box is a song that's the final thing that never got recorded. So we're scheming to actually try and make a recording of it.
It seemed like it was more of like a fan.
It was.
Interaction.
It was a fan interactive tune, but it would make a fun recording. It would be along the lines of Dead Like Us or something.
Okay, yeah.
A strong 7, maybe 8 songs.
Really, a strong 5, maybe 6.
Okay.
Is what there is.
I mean, as long as they're strong.
That's all there is in the Idiot Flesh left to release. I guess I could talk about this. I want to know.
We love it.
So, I mean, this is the setup for Bring Back, which is kind of, in a way, as elaborate as it gets. It's got a special damping situation here. This damper pedal, which operates off a pedal, but then it has this pattern of felt, which is set up to damp only 3 of the 6 strings.
What is that tuned
The strings are tuned in major thirds.
Major thirds,
So
okay.
it's just a big augmented chord,
Yeah.
including an E.
Okay.
So this string here is equal to a bass guitar.
Okay, cool.
And then go down to an octave below a bass guitar. And in my experimentation, you've probably done it before, you tune a string down, and it seems like at about A below a bass guitar, there's no more pitch left.
Yeah.
But this goes a whole nother fourth below that.
Yeah, what are the gauge on those strings?
Well, they're all piano strings.
Right.
Sure.
And I managed to scam my way into an account with a piano string manufacturer. They usually like to just deal with piano repair people.
Sure.
But they're set up to make any string you want, because the piano repair person has to go into a weird piano and say, okay, this is the string I need. So I just tell them the gauge of the winding, the gauge of the core, and then I tell them the offset between the loop end and the winding, and then the length of the winding, and they just make a string.
Do they know what it's for?
No, I don't expect it. But it's only like $12 a string, so it's not even it's not even prohibitive because these strings last 6 months.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's a pretty good deal, and I've like, I have a trunk full of strings because I keep changing my mind. I think maybe I want one more winding because a bigger winding gauge gives you more scrapey sound, which is nice for this kind of thing. But then playing sort of notey things where you're trying to go. Sometimes that's distracting. So then a smaller winding gauge gets you a little quieter. So now we come to my slide, a piece of stainless steel rod that I just rounded off. But then I was annoyed by the loudness of the slidey sound, so I figured out how to mount this Teflon roller here. Very fancy ball bearing and this Teflon roller, so now I can do slidey kinds of things without the sound of the slide.
Yeah.
My geek out things. So then for bring back, I experimented with trying to find a tone for the octave riff, and so I made this piece of aluminum with 2 little pieces of felt on it that sort of sits on what I found to be a pleasant harmonic spot to get this bring back riff. Let's see, I don't know what it's going to sound like here, but. But then like for that whole bit, I have a piece of foam down here so that when I let off of that string, it doesn't keep ringing. It's like
there you go. Okay.
I'd say about 80% of my efforts on this instrument are about keeping the unwanted strings from ringing. It's just they're heavy. You can put your hand down on it for a second and it'll still be ringing. Like it's like, sometimes I feel. Shut up, you. Here's my little cradle where I put the slide down and I'm playing, and my quiver where I put my tools in. I don't know.
What species of wood is that made?
I'm pretty sure this is an ash, like whatever, 3x4 or something. I just went into the hardwood store and it caught my eye, so I bought it. And then this fingerboard is a maple 1x4. And I put it all together and glued this down like an idiot. And then I realized that, like, I don't have a truss rod and the angle was not right. So then I had to separate it out, and I put all these spacers in here. And that just gets me, the right fretboard curve so that they're a reasonable distance away.
So you haven't had to worry about, given the truss rod thing, you haven't had to worry about it bending at all?
It evolves a little bit, but now if it evolved, I could loosen these screws and I could change these spacers in here. But it's been pretty stable, actually. It's a big enough piece of wood. Yeah. I have another instrument which you would have only seen probably in Idiot Flesh, which is like a solid body stand-up bass thing that I built, which I really blew it and put the grain the wrong way, didn't put a truss rod in. And my only tool for keeping the action right on that is just to file away at the fretless neck. And eventually I'm just going to run out of neck.
What
It becomes a very different instrument.
What song was that one on, if any?
You would hear that on like the beginning of the Nothing Show.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I always thought that was this.
And then
Okay.
there's the that's me whacking on that thing.
Okay.
This didn't exist. This didn't come into existence until Sleepytime.
Oh, all right.
The little year off between Idiot Flesh and Sleepytime was when I built this and that percussion guitar. That was
Gotcha.
my big instrument building year. I haven't built anything
So
recently.
those clamps just set down the octaves basically where you want the E sensitivity?
Yeah, these clamps,
Like
they're
Pico.
just clamps, but they also have a little piece of wire there so that it acts like it has a little mini bridge and a clamp. And I just
Oh, okay, cool,
put
yeah.
it under the string, and then I clamp it down. So now,
So you've reset, yeah.
Ah, fucking
so
clever.
then I get my. That becomes the open note for that string.
Yeah.
Depending on the song, you just choose my my set of open strings. Sometimes I have like 6 clamps on it.
You gotta get
Yeah,
the hands
right.
on.
Yeah, and so that makes it unwieldy. I have to do a lot of preparation before a given song. So we have to manage the set list, so there's a, you know, the moment for me to like fiddle with this thing to get it ready for that.
Do you have markings up there?
It's all marked. There's like little lines all over the place, and then fret numbers written all back here, and then over here are cheat sheets for each song to remind me where all the clamps go before a given song. It's at its, and still I get confused.
Like the song names on the extra little pieces you need for them.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Bring it back.
Bring back, yeah.
Custom dampers. This is the damper for powerless.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm trying to get organized. A lot of this stuff is, I wasn't disorganized back in the old days, but my brain is more feeble now, so I'm trying.
Before it gets too feeble, you need to make a blueprint so we can make it and
Right.
pass it on to the generation. God damn, dude.
Let's see, what else does anybody want to know? I'm just be happy.
Did you go over this one already?
Yeah, let's go over that one. So, later in the afternoon, you can go up to the museum and see the original percussion guitar. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. Gene John with Idiot Flesh was in the studio, set his guitar on his lap and started poking at it with drumsticks. We created a great track, but after he was done, the strings were all like pivoted and had to be completely replaced, and it was obvious that if he did it anymore, it was just going to destroy his favorite guitar. So we got like a cheap, shitty Sears guitar or something that someone had lying around, and I put it on a stand, and that worked for Idiot Flesh for years. You can hear it, especially on the little Nothing Show trilogy.
Yeah.
That instrument is all over there. But at this point, it's little more than a truss rod and some splinters and some, you know, it's really funny. You'll see it up there. And so I decided I would, you know, it was a promising enough instrument that I decided to make one that was up to the task. This one has, coincidentally, it's made out of, let's see, tan bark oak and alder, I think, which just happen to be the two woods that are very common in my hometown of Petrolia, up in Northern California. But so what are the principles? It's got just a metal rod for a bridge and another threaded rod for a bridge there. I wanted to make this above the bridge area.
That's
I
from
wanted that to
something.
be. I really get annoyed when you play above the bridge and two of the strings are the same pitch. It's like I feel cheated. So I just put this thing on here to anchor the strings. I put it at a big angle just to make sure that that they would all be different pitches down.
What is that from? This one? What song is that?
I have no idea.
I know. I swear I've heard that. What do you-
Tuning on this, people have tuned this thing different ways, but right now we have just 4 octaves of the same pitch. So it's really just one big, really wide note. I'm sure that's a sound you're familiar with. Carla has done things where she will stick a drumstick under here. On the song Sleepytime, she whacks the thing and then she moves her bridge around. And then when it's time to like get heavier, these little felt dampers flip down. And then you can. And it kind of shuts.
Ooh,
Again,
nice.
The need to shut the instrument up between, and then so now we can put a bunch of distortion on it. It kind of behaves. Another thing I did with this, which has fallen into disrepair, is there's a contact mic built into the bottom to sort of make that a little more sparkly.
Make everything an instrument.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is there to say about this instrument?
What's this thing in the container below it?
That is not a homemade
That's a
instrument.
bass
Not by
harmonica.
me, at least. This is Carla's bass harmonica,
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
which
shit.
I don't think we're gonna hear this. The only song we use this for is Salt Crown, and we haven't quite got that into the repertoire yet. We're still working on. It's on the list, but we haven't quite got it there yet. So you have to go see us later in the tour if you want to hear that.
Is the nickel harpa gonna make an appearance? or-
No, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah. Any more questions about this issue?
That's it.
Actually, so I think you described it as saying you're the only person who makes a percussion guitar. But
I'm not gonna claim that.
Okay. Never mind. Let me retract that statement. You did not say that. But I have heard similar percussion guitars, specifically from Crash Worship. There's also
I
from.
think it's like it's a solid concept. Everyone should do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yes, and from bands that have a.
Yeah.
I mean, slap bass is effectively percussion guitar.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean,
These other types of effects on with this guitar.
she does. Carla has lots of effects here that she uses. You can listen to some of
Got a
them.
whammy.
I know less about Carla's effects arsenal than I do about the instrument itself. She has a big pile of them here, including an EQ pedal that just works for this to sort of bring it into the same tonal world as her violin. Otherwise, it would be hard to make it work for the same amp.
So, you said there's only 4 different octaves. Was there a certain reason why you made a lot of them redundant? Because there's 6 strings?
That's based on choices that Carla or Michael have made.
Gotcha.
So one of the principles of these instruments is that I just made this and handed it off immediately.
Gotcha.
I'm not even very good at playing it. Carla and Michael have spent much more time with it than I have. The exact tuning is really up to them.
What's the most recent instrument that you've made?
That's a painful question because I haven't really been making instruments.
Or I guess
It's not
biggest
here. I had meant to
modification?
bring a couple other instruments and I just spaced it out. I've made a little weird thing to try and imitate the solo instrument on the Creature. That I made something to work for that, but I didn't bring that. And then there's the instrument called the Cockroach,
Okay.
which I mean you're familiar from the song Cockroach.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is a
yeah.
really cool instrument with a principle all its own, but I forgot to bring it, so sorry.
Are you talking about like the auto harp sounding instrument, or that just?
No, it's the one that goes. All the bass line on Cockroach is made with this sound, which is it's little bits of piano string stuck under a really thin piece of wood with a contact mic on it, and then you can tune it by pulling them out and then just plucking them.
So is there no harpsichord on Cockroach? Is that just all that is? The opening that is that
That
instrument?
is an auto harp,
Oh, okay, okay.
and I mean the auto harp. We got started with well, it appears in various places. An auto harp appears on the first album on the song Sunflower,
Right.
which is 3 auto harps, and then also Carla plays it on Ablutions. She plays the melody on the auto harp.
That was one of my favorite songs ever. I love that
Yeah.
song.
And so for a long time, we had an auto harp with a contact mic that was just all ready to go. I don't have any idea where that is at this point.
You guys have a knack for losing them.
I could go and explain some of this stuff again for people who haven't.
Yeah, could you tell us about the springs?
Yeah, anybody's
How does
welcome
that,
to come up on stage. This is sort of, it's back here. Could you hand me my water bottle there?